Hey, what's up everybody? And today we're going to be talking about buffering your specials and buffering your supers. Now, just a quick note, this isn't about during your combos. That's a completely different thing. You don't really buffer during combos. If someone tells you to buffer during a combo, it's either for like a really difficult combo that probably doesn't exist in Street Fighter 6 or for like a different game altogether. But for Street Fighter 6, when people are talking about buffering, they usually mean to input the first part or the whole part of a special or super motion in anticipation of something coming from your opponent, so that when you react, you don't have to input so many things to react with. Also, another important point of this video, this is mainly for classic players because we actually have to react to shit when we do things. That's all. I'm not going to go further into the discussion there, but we actually have to see things, input a motion that can take quite a few frames, and then react appropriately. So if you're a modern player, you don't need to watch this because you don't need to buffer because you got the one button special and super. But for you classic players out there, this is for you guys, right? So let's just say, for example, you're fighting against, I don't know, I got Ken on the screen here, right? And you've got your level 3 with Ed, and you want to beat Ken's fireball on reaction. Now, if you're just playing neutral, it's like really hard in a match to like just see the fireball, input double quarter circle forward, and be able to like react in time in a match when you got so many other things to look for, right? When you're looking for like drive rush, jumps, like footsies, pokes, it's really difficult to do that. So the idea behind buffering is you're going to input either one part or some of the part of your special input before doing either the last part of the input or the last half. And it really depends on what you prefer. There's no right or wrong way, but there are different ways you can buffer. So for example, let's say you want to do a reaction level 3 with Ed, right? So what you want to do is when you're playing neutral, instead of like walking back and forth or just standing straight, you're going to input quarter circle forward. So I'm on a Leverless here. You can see me. It's down, forward, and that's it. Let me turn on the virtual controller here for you guys, just in case you can't see well on YouTube. But you're basically just going to input quarter circle forward. And then if you see the fireball, all you have to do is input the last quarter circle forward. So instead of doing like 2 of them, you're just doing 1 because you've already buffered, which means you've already input the first half of it, which can cut down your reaction time because you've already done it. Or what you can do is just at this kind of range where you think he's going to do it, you can just do the full motion, but don't push the button. Because it stores your input for a couple of frames. You don't have to push punch right away. See there, I had about a, 7 to 8 frame gap in between my second quarter circle forward and the actual push. So if you see your opponent do a kind of movement that looks like he's going to throw a fireball, you can input the special and then just react to the actual fireball with a button. The issue with doing the full motion first and then pushing the button after is that you will lose your charge if it doesn't come right away. But if you keep on inputting quarter circle forwards, you'll be able to get it out whenever you want. How long does the game store the input for? I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know. I'm not that I don't know like the really, like, how can I say, nitty gritty, nerdy, technical parts of the game like that. I'm not that kind of player. I just know that you do this. Quarter circle back is hard with the ring finger. Well, you don't need to use the ring finger. The hard part with the ring finger is that I think a lot of people try to like push with their finger. You don't want to push with your finger. That's going to cause a lot of problems. You just want to roll with your wrist instead. So you're not really using your finger. You're just rolling your wrist, which makes it much easier on Leverless. So instead of, don't do it like this, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Don't do this stuff. That'll kill you. You just kind of want to roll your hand this way. See, I'm not really using my ring finger. It's just kind of there. I'm just rolling my wrist like this, which makes reaction level 3s much easier on that side. See? Not hard at all. You don't need to train your ring finger or nothing, just to hold it there and just really go like this. Now, another way you can do it, if you want to just buffer that, you can just go like this. You can hold forward on Leverless, and you can just kind of like tap and release down back. As long as you're not getting perfect inputs, it's going to be a little bit sloppy. You can do something like this, and you can buffer it that way. Now, the downside with any kind of buffer is anytime you're buffering something, you can kind of, you're pretty much showing your opponent that you're looking for it. All right, you're showing that you're buffering because your movement is gonna, like, how can I say, your buffer is gonna get shown through your movement, because normally when you play, you don't do this, right? You're not usually playing like this. This is like such a huge tell. It's like, I'm buffering. If you throw a fireball, this is coming. So if you're making it too obvious, it's really bad. So what you can do to kind of like hide the fact that you're buffering is you can throw a jab. A jab, a crouching light punch, a standing medium punch, you know, something that has fast recovery, and hide your input behind that move. This way, your opponent can't actually see that you're buffering. So that's something I don't think a lot of people know about, especially a lot of newer players. You buffer the first part, the first quarter circle, or the first quarter circle back of your move behind a normal, and then you input the second half of it when you see the actual fireball. DP comes out if you press the attack too early? No, it doesn't. If your DP is coming out, that means your input's sloppy. On moves that you have 2 frames to cancel the special moves, for example, Ed's 2 light kick. Do people buffer the move immediately after pressing 2 light kick so they get the confirm? For crouching light kick, you can't hit confirm this. It's too fast. So people will just do it. This isn't a buffer. This is an option select where you just kind of automatically go into it. That's not a buffer. That's a totally different thing. But yeah, that's basically what you want to do with buffers. So you basically either do it through motions, or you hide your motion through a normal, and then you'll confuse your opponent. And of course you can do this with special moves too. Alright, so buffering isn't just for supers. You can also buffer DPs. So you can kind of hold, like, you can just walk and tap like forward and down forward. And then if you see them jump, all you gotta do is push the button, and then you get the DP out. So something like this. Alright. You can do something like that. But I feel like that makes it a little bit too difficult sometimes. But basically, if you're just walking forward, and when you're at this range, you can do something like that. That didn't connect, but go like that, and you can buffer your special moves from movement too. So it's not just supers. Now, it all depends on how busy you want your hands to be. Sometimes I think buffering can be incredibly helpful, but sometimes I think it can take your mind too much off of what's supposed to happen. It really depends on the situation and the spacing, also the character that you use. Obviously, if you play a character with a really good anti-fireball level 3, someone like Cammy, Chun-Li, anybody with a good anti-level 3, her level 2 when she's in her charged up state, those are all really good moves to try to buffer and to go into when you're trying to deal with reaction moves. Alright guys, so hopefully that helps you understand about buffers and when you want to use them. Experiment with your character. It's going to be different depending on who you use, but it can be a really good thing to use, especially when you're trying to help yourself reduce the reaction time needed for your inputs when you're trying to counter special moves. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps me out a ton. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.